Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the Cambridge B1 preliminary PET exam, especially speaking test. So, in this class we will discuss about the speaking test and different components of the speaking test and the different techniques that we have to use to crack that exam, to score very high in the speaking test. So, I am Dr. Shal Mamun Sarkar, Assistant Professor of English, Department of UOFL SAH VFSTR Badlamudi. So, here we go for this speaking test. So, it is about speaking test for B1 preliminary exam. We have some of the important things like it is speaking is one of the four important components of language learning. So, it is in Cambridge B1 preliminary test, we have total 170 marks for a speaking test, and it has a weightage of 25% of total marks per certification, like in reading, writing, listening and speaking all have total 100% marks, and it consists of 25% marks. Then the format we use in the speaking test is that generally two candidates, exceptionally sometimes 3 candidates can also go, but we will take the examples of 2 candidates and 2 examiners. One is interlocutor and another is assessor. Interlocutor is a person who will interact with the candidate. He or she will ask a question to the candidate, and assessor will sit behind. As in this picture you can see, these two are students, and this madam is the interlocutor. She will ask question to them, and behind her another madam is sitting little bit in the back side. She will listen to this speaking and she will give marks. Okay. So, the duration for this test is approximately 10 to 12 minutes, and this exam focuses on the focuses on your ability to communicate effectively in everyday situation. You have to it will be checked your day to day communication skills. So, you are also expected to be able to ask a question and understand question and make appropriate responses, and to talk freely on any topic related to our day to day life. So, this is the main focus of this speaking test. Okay. So, now what does B1 preliminary speaking test assess? What are the things they look after, they demand for? Like candidate must focus on these 5 things. One is grammar and vocabulary, then second is pronunciation, third is interactive communication, fourth is discourse management, and fifth is global achievement. As I told you that this assessor would give marks for all these 4 components, and the interlocutor only will give marks for global achievement. Now, we should know what are the things, what do you mean by these 5 elements, 5 things that they look for, they will assess on. These are grammar and vocabulary. Means you have to use certain B1 level grammar, and you have to use certain vocabulary. You should be able to use certain vocabulary that is prescribed by Cambridge University for B1 level. So, you have to use the range of grammatical structures, either frequency adverbs, parts of a speech, different parts of a species, like tenses, different use of different tenses in different situation, day to day life situation, how to describe routine things, how to describe an past incident, how to talk about future plan. All these things you have to use correctly different tenses. Similarly, you have to use the sentence structures, simple, complex, compound structures, or you have to use phrasal verbs, you have to use frequency adverbs, you have to use adjective, adverbs to beautify the text. All these things you have to take care in this grammar and vocabulary part. Next is pronunciation. What do you mean by this? Is that you have to speak clearly using appropriate stress and intonation. You have to speak clearly. I mean, though sometimes in our place we have some kind of problem of different mother tongue influence would be there, but we have to try maximum to speak clearly using the appropriate stress and intonation as much as possible. Next one is interactive communication, where the ability to engage in a conversation, respond appropriately, or initiate or maintain the interaction. All these things you have to maintain in the interactive communication, so that the communication go very well. Our next point is discourse management. This is very important thing, though the word discourse is bit difficult for you to understand, but it is very simple to simple in a way that it means, you know, how well you organize your speech, how well you organize your speech and link your ideas together. This is as simple as it is. So, what would be there? What are the points would be there in this discourse management? First one is coherence. Coherence means logical arrangement of the content. Then cohesion, the some of the linking words you have to use to connect the sentences one with another. For example, using and, but, so, however, therefore, thereafter, all these things you have to use. Next, all these things you have to use to connect the sentences with one another. These are the linkers we have to use very much. Then we have to focus, fluency comes under this discourse management as well. Fluency is not given so much importance separately, it comes under discourse management itself. So, generally, the candidate should speak flawlessly, speak long speech, deliver long speech without any hesitation, without unnecessary repetitions. So, expressing your idea clearly and speaking at a reasonable pace, that is very important. Typically, though it is not the norms, but typically it considers that 100 to 150 words per minute you have to speak, and lower B1 level students can speak 100 to 120 words per minute, whereas the upper B1 would be around 120 to 140 words per minute. So, these are the things we have to take care, we have to keep in mind. Then the global achievement. What do you mean by global achievement? It means that your overall performance, your overall achievement in the speaking test, and it is considered like you have to consider the task completion, means how well you have completed your task, given task, and then you have to check your usage of language, usage of appropriate language, grammar, vocabulary, and suitable level of vocabulary given in the list of vocabulary by Cambridge University, as well as the pronunciation, and also communication effectiveness also would be checked in this part, that how effectively you convey your idea and engage in the conversation. So, these are the 5 things very important for speaking test. So, everyone should take care of these things and practice accordingly. According to this, whatever the task would be given in the speaking test, there are 4 parts, we will come to that, and different parts, all these different parts would be either individual task or group task, but all these 5 components should be very thoroughly prepared, because assessor as well as interlocutor also would be checked all these things, and based on that your marks will be given. So, how many parts are there in this speaking test? In Cambridge PET B1 level test, B1 preliminary test, there are 4 parts. 4 parts. So, 4 parts would be for the duration of 10 to 12 minutes. So, first part is a kind of ice breaking session, or you can say interview, or a short conversation. It is a very short conversation for approximately 2 minutes. It is with interlocutor. Then the individual long turn. Here we will discuss these things in detail in next slides. So, next one is individual long turn. This is short turn, it is long turn, where you will describe a picture. Color picture would be given, you have to describe the picture for a minute. So, approximately 3 minutes would be given, and then participating in discussion with the partner. So, since 2 of you will go together, therefore, there will be a collaborative task. This one is a collaborative task, that is part 3. Speaking part 3 is a collaborative task where you have to participate in discussion. So, approximately 4 minutes will be given to you, and the topic would be given by the interlocutor also, situation would be given by interlocutor. You have to discuss and decide and finalize one thing. And the final one is the discussion, further discussion. It is further discussion on the topic related to part 3. Whatever the part 3 discussion would be there together, again here it is the continuation where interlocutor will ask some related questions in this part individually. So, here also you will get approximately 3 minutes, means 1 minute for everyone, each candidate. So, now we are going in detail about these different parts. So, first part is interview with the interlocutor, approximately 2 minutes you will get, 1 minute each. So, here personal information and basic communication skills will be tested, and what to expect? This examiners will ask the candidates some general questions, very general questions about themselves, and your name, where are you from, what is your hobby, what do you do in the spare time, what is your daily routine, what's your past what is your favorite past incident that you like very much, what is your favorite memory, what is your favorite destination maybe, or what is your interest, and it can be also regarding your daily studies. Okay. So, this part you have to practice some of the basic simple questions of daily life, interest, experiences, and you have to be ready to provide both factual as well as personal information. So, some of the basic questions, very common questions can be asked, like regarding your personal information, what's your name, where are you from, can you describe your town or city. So, you have to use you have to answer these types of question, like do you live in a house or a flat. So, remember all these answers should be given properly. Similarly, regarding your daily life also, these are some of the examples, some of the questions, like what do you do, what do you usually do in the morning, what do you do at weekends, what time do you usually get up, do you help with housework. All these types of daily life questions can be asked. Very generic question, very general question would be asked. You have to practice. If you practice all these questions, you will definitely be able to speak well. Similarly, related to work, related to free times or hobbies, like what do you like to do in your free time, do you like reading, do you play any sports, what kind of music do you enjoy? All these types of questions would be asked in this part. Okay. Similarly, related to your family and friends, like do you have a big family? Tell me about your best friend. Or it can be about holidays or travels, like do you usually do, what do you usually do on holidays, or do you like traveling? All these questions would be can be asked. Okay. So, similarly related to food, related to future plan, like what job would you like to do in future, what do you want to go to university, do you want to go to university, or what are your plans for the weekend, related to future plan. Okay. All these things can be asked in general. So, now to answer these questions, we have to use certain techniques, certain set of words, certain set of expressions to score better. So, for example, the key language and ideas for personal questions. What are the key languages you have to use? For your use frequency adverbs to talk about habits and routines. If you have to talk about our daily routines, if you have to talk about our habitual things, like you have to use, I usually have breakfast at 7 a.m. or I often watch TV in the evening. So, like this you have to use often, usually. In case of simple present, you have to use I generally have breakfast. So, if you use usually, often, generally, like this frequency adverbs, you will get better score. Okay. For these rules are given in detail in the PET B1 level book, Cambridge Complete PET B1 level book. You will find all these exercises in detail. Similarly, for past simple and you have to use past simple and time expression to talk about the past incident. So, like for example, yesterday I watched so and so movie with my friends. Last weekend I visited Vijayawada for watching a film. So, these types of words, these types of expressions, yesterday, then you have to use past simple, I watched. Last weekend, time expressions again, I visited. So, past simple also you have to use this kinds of expressions. So, you have to have the capability to use different kinds of tenses. Okay. So, use be going to and time expression to talk about future plan. Here it talks about the future tense. You have to have the ability to speak, use the future tense also. For example, next summer I am going to travel to America, I am going to travel to England. Like this you can mention, okay, in future plan, next summer, okay. Like this, these types of expressions you have to use. Then in case of future tense, you are talking about future hopes, then I would like to visit so and so place, or in this short contracted form also you can use, I would like to visit so and so place. Like this you can do. Okay. I want to get a job next year. Also, apart from this, you have to add extra information. So, extra information actually, and also furthermore, further, all these words you can use to add more information. Okay. You have to use contrasting information, okay, like but, on the in contrast to that, however, like this expressions you can use to say the contrast. Similarly, reasons and results you can say, you can use because, so, that is why, consequently, like this expressions you have to use for reasons and results. Similarly, for adding examples. So, for examples, for instance, like these expressions you have to use. Okay. Some of the tips, useful tips I gave, like you can say, first thing you have to listen carefully. Okay, very very important thing. Before speaking, listen carefully. Okay, listen carefully, where you have to listen to the interlocutor. What is the question, exact question? If you cannot understand, remember, if you cannot understand anything, don't try to answer. Instead, if you don't understand anything, it's okay, it's not a problem. You have to say, could you please repeat that, or could you repeat that please, or sorry, I did not catch you, I did not catch that. These types of expression you have to use. If you do not know an answer, then your marks will be less. But if you know, if you do not know, if you could not understand, and if you are asking these types of questions, you will get more marks. Remember this point. So, second thing, give full answers. Don't just say yes or no. Always try to provide extra information. Okay, extra information you say. For example, do you like music? Yes. So, this is perfect answer, right? But you have to give this one. Do you like music? Yes. I love pop music and I listen to it every day. So, this extra added information will give you more marks. To score B1, even B2 level, you have to add these types of extra information. Always remember this point. Okay. Next point you have to remember, you have to keep in mind is speak naturally and clearly. Means your language should be very very simple, very very clear. Okay. That you need not rush, you need not you need not fumble a bit, or you need not express things ambiguously, okay, or roll inside the mouth. So, you have to be very very audible to the assessor who would be sitting little bit away from you. Okay. And remember, you have to be very very positive always. Don't take it anything in an offensive way. You have to be very very friendly, polite. Okay. You have to be relaxed. Okay. There you have to be relaxed. You have to keep in mind that the interlocutor and the assessors are not examining you. They will help you. Especially the interlocutor will help you in expressing in a better way. Okay. So, that is why take that interlocutor to be your friend. I mean not a friend, friendly. Okay. So, next one, you have to use the range of vocabulary as per the prescribed vocabulary given in Cambridge PET, okay, B1 level. So, you have to use extra added words for beautification. For example, I live in a small village. So, I live in a small village near the mountain. So, that could be a simple expression, but if you use I live in a small but beautiful village near the mountain. So, similar expressions you have to use, so that it can be very nice. Similarly, you have to use always connectors to connect your sentences using the words, expressions like and, but, because, so, also, then. Okay. For example, I like weekends because I can relax and spend time with my friends. So, because of that, you have to use connectors. If you use connectors, it will help you express nicely. Your sentences, your words will not be haphazardly presented. Similarly, you have to practice common questions, very very common questions. I have already mentioned in previous slides some of the daily routines, the hobbies, schools or work, family or free times or holidays, all these things are personal questions also. And last but not least, about these suggestions, that be honest and personal. always express things what you are actually. Don't try to bluff anybody, don't try to use something that you are not. Okay? So, it will, if you are honest, then you will definitely be confident. Okay? So, these are all about part 1.